Super Mario Run is a game born of concessions. There's only one input, you can't turn around, heck, you can't even stop running. Sorry Tom Cruise, Mario's a real running man here. The whole thing is a recipe for disaster, and yet Super Mario Run makes these concessions work. And it does so by taking those concessions to heart and designing a game around them. It feels both distinctly Mario while being something slightly different at the same time. Now, while all of the things I've mentioned so far aren't necessarily things I want to see in the next proper 2D Mario, there are a few changes and additions here that I think the next 2D Mario game could take notes from. So here are my top 5 lessons that Super Mario Run can teach the next mainline 2D Mario game. Hey Nintendo! Sit up straight and pay attention. Lesson 1. Mario can do just about anything in 2 dimensions, as long as it's running or jumping, and that's still mostly true in Super Mario Run as well. Except he now does so with a little bit more pizzazz, automatically vaulting over enemies, flipping up ledges, tucking and rolling from long falls, and even grabbing ledges that he just barely missed, like in the 3D games. There's a fluidity to Mario's movement that he's never had before in the 2D games, almost as if he's taken parkour lessons over the past few years. And this results in a smoother experience, one where Mario is now more connected to the world instead of feeling like an intruder where literally every object is an obstacle. It feels great, looks cool, and enhances the flow of the game. And I think there's real potential for some of those moves to be incorporated into the mainline games. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. Yeah, way to go, Andre, take the platforming out of a platformer game. But hear me out. What's the one thing that Mario's doing in Super Mario Run like 99% of the time? That's right, he's running. So what if that were the key element to performing some of those moves in a hypothetical new 2D Mario game? Or more specifically, the vaulting maneuver, where Mario automatically rolls over small objects. But in this case, it would only be when running at top speed. A little bit like taking off or liftoff in Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World. In this way, Mario's increased nimbleness will be a reward for dodging obstacles long enough to reach and maintain top speed. Levels could even be designed with this specifically in mind, minimizing the amount of flat terrain to make the feat even more of an accomplishment. Just imagine how good it would feel to fly up the flagpole staircase as a bonus instead of taking it brick by brick. And there are other moves in Super Mario Run that can be incorporated into the mainline 2D games too, like ledge grabbing. Although there is an argument to be made that this, more than anything else, undermines the point of a platformer, muddying the precise distance needed to clear a gap. So what if it were modified to be skill-based instead? As in, if you think you're going to fall short, you could try tapping jump in mid-air as a last-ditch effort to grab the ledge before falling to your doom. It'd be a nice backup safety feature, while still requiring good timing, as opposed to having Mario grab the ledge automatically. Finally, there's tucking and rolling whenever Mario lands from a high place. And I love this way more than I probably should. Even if it doesn't really do anything, it's just a cool touch that feels right. But what if this were turned into an actual mechanic, allowing Mario to jump higher or farther if you jump while mid-roll? It would just be another extra mechanic for players to master if they so choose. Ultimately, giving Mario greater mobility would enhance the feel and add an interesting new wrinkle to the gameplay, while also staying true to his roots. Lesson 2. As I've said before, Super Peach Run is a surprisingly fun game. Wait a second, sorry, I meant Super Yoshi Run. Or is it Super Toad Run? Okay, so even though you start the game as Mario, it won't be long before you have a few other character options at your disposal. And not only do those characters look different, but they play differently too. And this is something we haven't seen in a 2D Mario game since Super Mario Bros. 2, which was almost 30 years ago. And this is something that could really liven up the next 2D Mario game, much as it did in the 3D games of Super Mario 3D World, lending multiple ways to play. Hell, they could even incorporate it into the story. So instead of maybe just kidnapping Peach, Bowser might capture everyone else except for one, whose job it is then to rescue the others from the various castles. Hell, they could even turn the series on its head and have Peach be the one who has to rescue the others at first. Again, it'd be something different, and something different is exactly what 2D Mario could really use about now. Lesson 3. 1-ups and lives in general are a relic of the past. They exist only because they always have, despite serving no real purpose these days. If you're even halfway decent at Mario, you'll probably almost never run out since it's not hard to build up a war chest of lives. The only people that are truly affected by a life counter are those who are already less skilled at the game, which means they're being unfairly punished every time they run out of lives, being sent back to the last save location and being forced to potentially replay the last 3 or 4 levels. And this is something that Super Mario Run fixes by removing lives completely. There are no 1-ups and no true life counter either. Once you beat a level, that's it, you're done. There's no danger of being forced to replay a level just because you failed a little bit later on. It gives a more definitive sense of completion while also making the game less frustrating for the less skilled. But that doesn't mean you can't still die. Except this time, instead of being returned to the start of the level or a checkpoint, you now turn into a bubble and get sent back a short ways before you can try again. And this is brilliant. It's essentially a dynamic checkpoint, making you replay only the section you failed at instead of from an arbitrary point halfway through the level or from the very start. But here's the thing, the life counter isn't completely gone, because if you run out of bubbles, you then have to start the level over from the beginning. But the difference this time is that counter resets every time you enter a new level instead of carrying over between levels. And this is something that absolutely should be incorporated into the mainline games. It fixes the problem of lives not mattering for more skilled gamers, since you now have a set amount per level, while also addressing the issue of game overs being unnecessarily punishing for Mario newbies. On top of that, it has a benefit of making each level feel like more of a singular experience, instead of being split at the checkpoint into what are essentially two different levels. You either pass through the entire thing within 3 bubble attempts, or you start over from the very beginning. This also means the levels can be better balanced with this in mind, instead of the difficulty being somewhat dictated by how many lives a player has. The only change I would make is to have the bubble return you a little bit farther back so that's a bit more punishing than it is in Super Mario Run. Dying should probably be a bit more than just a slight inconvenience, right? Lesson 4. Everyone and their mother knows that 100 coins nets you an extra life. Except in Super Mario Run because there are no lives as we just discussed. Which means coins had to be given a new purpose, this time allowing you to invest in the Mushroom Kingdom itself, adding new buildings, structures, and other decorations. Now, because coins are already borderline meaningless in the modern 2D Mario games due to the abundance of lives, I think they too should be given a greater purpose in the next 2D Mario game. Coins exist to be spent, right? So why not let you cash them in at a Toad House for, say, power-ups? Or maybe you can gamble them in a minigame. Heck, they can even tie unlocking levels to coin counts, kinda like the star doors in Super Mario 64, which will give you a real incentive to collect them. No matter what, tying the coins to tangible rewards will make them more fun and more meaningful to collect. Lesson 5. Okay, so this is an idea that Super Mario Run only lightly flirts with, but it's a start to something that could be much grander. Because one of the cooler concepts, as well as being one that's easy to overlook, is the idea of a kingdom that evolves as you work through the adventure. The castle gets rebuilt, Toads move in, and even Peach returns in the end, among some other changes and additions you can make to the kingdom itself. And I would love if the next 2D game did something similar, where you can see the impact Mario's actions have on the world. Like, what if Toads returned home and cheered you on from the world map every time you beat a castle? Or what if a central Toad Town and new shops added to it over time for helping restore the kingdom's glory? Something like this could even be used to incentivize revisiting worlds you've already completed, like getting a hammer to destroy a thwomp that's blocking a path to more levels. There's any number of ways they could play with the idea, but I think it would go a long way enhancing the feel of the world while giving even more purpose to the world map. So there you have it, the 5 things I think the mainline 2D Mario games could learn from Super Mario Run. Now, am I saying the next 2D Mario game needs these features? Of course not. But I do think the next 2D Mario game needs some sort of change to help freshen things up again. And Super Mario Run introduces enough new ideas that could be a great launching off point. But what do you guys think? Agree? Disagree? Let us know by posting in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and make sure to click that subscribe button for more on Super Mario Run and other things gaming too. Catch you later. Bye.